You know that of the R9's in good hands.
The Riders World Championship in the round was there. Nancy can go out there and enjoy himself in her next week.
To sign off in style again, and we know that he's going to be under pressure there because the Beast is going to be fighting for a race win. Philip Irvin's got this confidence. Anju's trying to finish off his season in style as well, and then you just have to throw in the likes of Sura and Garcia and plenty of other riders.
Take you through the numbers on the podium. Jeremy Alcoba, podium number 1. His Supersports career in 2025 with Kawasaki. Kawasaki's place for Philip Urkel. Podium number 13 for him in the class. Remember, he was third in the 2020 World Championship. Urkel, has been a medalist. His first rostrum finish, though, since Moss, and one of 3 consecutive fourth-place finishes. He's been knocking on the door this time. Second place for Urkel, his best result yet. Stefano Manzi, who takes the race win, his 95th race start, his 59th podium, his 20th race victory, his 10th in 2025, so a couple of nice round numbers in there, and most in world champion. Time to hear the national anthem for your race winner and your world champion, Stefano Manzi. He's only won just one of the 4 races. Should be in for some close action at the final round in Jerez.
Yeah, definitely. And you can look forward to that one, and look forward to seeing Anju right in the mix as well, freed up a little bit after his problems.
So it is Stefano Manzi, round 2025 Supersport World Champion. 4th campaign in the class. 3rd with Yamaha. R9 with final round. Yamaha confirmed manufacturers world champion the final round. Yamaha confirmed manufacturers world champions already. Well, that's just about all from Supersports here at the EICMA Estoril round. They will be back in just 6 days' time, racing in Jerez. 15 miles for the first decider, the Superbike class. this venue, located handily just outside of the capital, Lisbon, has only been missed off the calendar once since then. 6 races in 9 days to settle the 2025 title. It could be 2025 title. It could be decided this afternoon at the conclusion. The high-speed area of morning in the Tissot Superpole race, Niccolo Bulliger set Estoril's fastest ever two-field race lap, 0.2 seconds faster than last year's lap record. For them last year as a result of his late season injury. He's made no mistakes in 2025, surviving a tough start to the season with 8 defeats in the first 12 races, coming from 41 points down and now leading by 44 after notching 1 wins from races. Steve English alongside me, him, and then a couple of beneficiaries from crashes, Axel Honey and Vandermark rounding out the points. That's opposite behind the top 2 all weekend long here in Estoril, around 9/10 of a second per lap throughout yesterday. Realistic.
Then he was able to try and answer back in turn 9, but once Razgadioglu came through on lap 2,
number 6 at this Estoril circuit, contract Razgadioglu, he consecutive podiums, 1 wins now to his name. Bulliger, second places behind Toprak in this 2025 campaign, and 10 wins as well, so only 4 races off the podium. That's what makes it unlikely that he can wrap up. Toprak could wrap up the World Championship in race 2 this afternoon. I'm sure he'd like to and just go to Jerez for the party. He also wasn't afraid of in race 1 in Jerez.
yeah, and that's where the confidence that he had. See what happens, and Toprak, that's where his confidence comes from, knowing that always going to give himself those opportunities. 3 races in Jerez as well.
Bike rider out there at the time.
Yeah, top is strong and Superbike rider. He is a different kettle of fish, but we'll be expecting that he's able to show his potential. Different kettle of fish, but we'll be expecting that he's able to show his potential there, and no reason they wouldn't be able to.
Let's take a look at the grid then for race 2.
No, but he wouldn't be able to.
Let's take a look at the grid then for race 2. No, but plenty of
pole shot in both races so far this weekend, so you'd expect Ducatis to lead into turn 1, and then it's a question of it.
Last race in Misano, another 12 points lost. Non-scores in those 3 rounds, and that's what's left Alvaro Bautista still behind third place Danilo Petrucci. Wait, his absence just racing and again a full in race.
There's so much F1 in where caught out from qualifying for the field for Alvaro. That's the thing that's been difference. The battles in the championship are being closer to the top 2 as well.
In the Superpole race this track. Razgadioglu, he's also had 6 poles in 2025. He has wrapped up the Superpole award with a round to spare, and that was one that he didn't manage last year, of course. Absolutely, with Bulliger, a very strong in. Second row of the grid, Andrea Locatelli, Andrea Iannone, and Remy Gardner. Originally qualified in 8th position this weekend, Locatelli. Fought his way well through, nothing mega in race 1, passing Remy Gardner and also Axel Bassani. It was a much better performance from him, though, in the Superpole race, up as high as 5th. And originally qualified an impressive 5th. He did show good position in the race, but perhaps the Honda more the longer race format. Axel Bassani, 9th place, had a first turn crash in their machine and could only bring it home to 11th, but capitalised on the opportunities ahead of him in the Superpole race, parked in 8th position.
Yeah, and important for Manny to have that little bit of luck. That race, trying to come away with these race, trying to come away with these. That chance to be able to constantly break away. That's what means that for Lowe's and Ray from the 4th row of the grid, you're able to follow those.
Of the day yesterday, wasn't really feeling any pain, but obviously great rust. It's a long time since he parked on the bike. and he's had the summer break, new next season, and 20 riders, several withdrawals. We've lost this season. He's won 10 races, finished second. He's had a step on Nicolo Bulliger as he bids to make it a hat-trick here.
Yeah, he's had that pace advantage this weekend, and it's been marginal between them, but it's been in Toprak's favour. Just looking at the riders as they leave the grid, looks like Toprak's out there. Same choice, front and rear tyres as Nicolo Bulliger. So either rider gaining a little bit of advantage or a difference. Rider that has made quick starts.
Couple of laps, so the first third of this race, anything is possible.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing as you look towards what happens at the start. What does Andrea Iannone do? Iannone could be a little bit of a wild card in it. Locatelli on the run to turn one knows that's going to be his chance in those opening few laps, because Bautista's a little bit vulnerable.
Aragon, a fifth race earlier on today. He's finally found this.
And one for Locatelli
into turn one. Bose now recovering the place. So that is for sixth position, but all the while, of course, Bose wants to be keeping with the three riders ahead of him, because we have got a competitive group from third place down in the battle for the podium. Alvaro Bautista is going to want to make his move in towards turn one at the start of lap 4, and it looks like he's going to be close enough. Move in towards turn one at the start of lap 4, and it looks like he's going to be close enough.
Yeah, and for Locatelli, it's about finding a way to defend that position on the brakes. The Yamaha...
Andrea Iannone now starting to come under some pressure from Alex Lowe. Lowe will be grateful for the slipstream down the start-finish straight from the slap of the race. Here comes Bautista on Andrea Locatelli. This is the fight for third in the World Championship, third in the race.
Locatelli, he needs to try and figure out if he's going to be able to come back at him as well. This is where we saw a lap ago. Bautista yesterday was the slower rider in the group. Bautista yesterday was the slower rider in the group. The Superpole race was bunched together. It tends to be that the rider at the front is the cork in the bottle, and for Bautista, the first third of yesterday's race, he looked nervous, he didn't look comfortable on it, and then it gradually started to come back to really find something. This is where Bulliger was Toprak just needs to try and make sure he's able to keep him honest, but a gap of over a second at this stage, considering how close it's been all the way through this.
Laps 12 and 13. Bulliger really goes, if it does stay this way, it will come down to Toprak dropping to fifth position on the opening lap. And actually, Toprak has lost places.
Yeah, and you can see here in this battle now as well, this is the phase of the race where Bautista
been so great in, well, two this afternoon, Remy Gardner right behind.
Yeah, and
two this afternoon, Remy Gardner right behind.
Yeah, and a couple seconds, big, don't have to do anything special, have despite 9 and 10, and ultimately when Bullock is at his best, it's whenever he looks like he's not having to reach past it.
Personal best second sector there for Alex Lowe. Tried to make up ground on Alvaro Bautista. Seems to be losing ground in right behind Alvaro Bautista. At the back of the Axel Bassani in P9. Bassani was fractionally past through Gardner on lap 9. Gardner with a new personal best there on lap 10, a 1:36.628. These are the riders on the fringes of points. Lecuona, Vickers, Gerloff, Montella, all covered by 0.3 of a second in the battle for 11th, and it looks as though it's going to be another non-score for Jari Montella. More problems besetting him this weekend.
Yeah, he looked down at his shifter there. It looked like just been one, so for Jari, another.
Lecuona at the front of this group, his first racing this weekend, 75 days. his crash and just flown in amongst the points and getting some reward after his long absence. And after making a decision to return at all, to be honest with you, a final 2 rounds to come. Might come under some pressure later on from Garrett Gerloff. We know how strong he is in the final third of race.
Yeah, and for Gerloff, he'll know that there's still a chance of a top 10 if someone else hits a little bit of trouble in front of this group, be able to come through this group and have a chance of being able to score some points. And just for him and for Honda, just to be back on track.
This time by Alvaro Bautista over Alex Rose, for a new personal best. This time by Alvaro Bautista over Alex Rose, for a new personal best. Condition then made up there. But still, Bautista opens the condition then made up there. But still, Bautista opens with his mission penalty. Hasn't garnered too much favour from Lowe's. I can tell you from Ray this weekend, because they can see how well they're riding him in the different areas, race tracks, and all right, because he says, well, look, I'm one of the lightest, and therefore I'm the most penalised. Black 13 of 21 new. Black 13 of 21.
High 35s, still running a decent pace, and that's where it's up for top rack with 8 laps to go, and he needs to find 2 or 3 tenths of a second a lap on his rival.
Right with Alvaro Bautista, he will not go away, and at some point Bautista's going to get the big old fly swatter out the final third of racing. But Alex Lowe's remarkable to hassle and harry Alvaro Bautista in the 13 lap.
At the end of the race as well, and he'll know that there's a chance for the podium, and I think after disappointment of that crash this morning, he'll be out trying to give the team a big boost.
And Mark here down in, and it's relatively quiet weekend as far as Van der Mark is concerned, but looks as if now and Razgatly on track made a tenth of a second back here. So top track still closing, but not fast enough at this.
Yeah, ultimately for Razgatly, 1.6 seconds, 6 laps to go, and it's just very difficult to be able to give yourself the chance to be able to make up that margin.
I'll finish straight there, and you'd expect Vickers to open up a bit of a margin on Gerloff through here, 10th of a second between them as they cross the line to start lap number 15. Nice to see a little bit of Brian Vickers, ultimate rounders, WorldSBK regular with the Moto team. Announced at the start of this weekend. Vickers has been out there and said, look, I had a 2-year contract, and he's frustrated to have been let go. Made a big commitment, obviously, to be here. But likewise, the team pointing out that 7th place in being his best result. Top 10 finishes have been rare, just a couple of them for Ryan Vickers.
Yeah, and that's what you're trying to. And that's where Yari Montala's had a lot of mistakes this year, a lot of crashing. He's had those good results at the start of the year, and that's been good results at the start of the year, and that's been.
On Jonathan Ray. Ray will line himself up for the better exit off the first bend. Bassani gets a bit of lift. Ray is there on the inside, but Bassani has track position now and has Piats.
Moved by Axel, and it's been coming for a while. He's now able to step up in his position like Allison. Good performance by Bassani. Finished in 11th in yesterday's race, top 9 in the Superpole race, and if he's able to come away with a top 8 finish in this, he's in turn.
Ray right over his shoulder. Barney through. He's in survival mode now, but he does have a quick second margin over Michael Van der Mark behind him. I can tell you that while we were watching that change of position, there was another. You'll have